The South African Health Products Regulatory Authority, SAHPRA, has outlined the processes to be taken by government and health authorities in procuring Sinovac's COVID-19 jab. SAHPRA authorised Sinovac's CoronaVac jab for use with conditions under Section 21. The double-dose shot developed by a Chinese pharmaceutical group is approved for people between the ages of 18 to 59. Now let's discuss this further. We are joined via Zoom by Dr. Aslam Dasoo, Convener, Progressive Health Forum. Dr. Dasoo, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Firstly, let us get your reaction to the announcement by the South African Health Products Regulatory Authority.
Sure. Good afternoon, and thank you for inviting me. Let me start off by saying this is very good news that we have now a further vaccine approved for use in South Africa. We've had 3 so far approved. That's the AstraZeneca, the Pfizer candidate, and the J&J candidate. At the moment, we only have 2 of them in use currently. And to have a 4th vaccine now reduces the risk of having all our eggs in just 1 or 2 baskets, as we have been doing. And that has created unnecessary risk. You've heard of the problems in production with the J&J vaccine. And the pandemic is unpredictable, and so is production of vaccines. So to have more candidates gives us a better shot at not having an interrupted vaccine rollout program.
So what do we know about the efficacy of the Sinovac's CoronaVac vaccine so far?
So it's a deactivated vaccine, and so it's a common platform vaccine. And the data on the vaccine has been assessed by the WHO, and they have approved it for emergency use listing. The SAHPRA apparently has also utilized the data from the WHO and have registered it with conditions, because there is a lack of data on its efficacy in terms of variants. In the various areas where it was trialed, the variants were not present. So we don't actually know its full efficacy there. And we're also not sure, for example, its efficacy in HIV positive people. Of course, you know, we have many people here who have HIV, and so this is a very important thing to know. And I think the conditions that SAHPRA has put on it is going to cover those issues, because it will require strict reporting on following its use on its effectiveness against HIV, in HIV positive people, and in terms of the variants of concern that we have circulating right here.
Now, Dr. Dasoo, what do we know about its, just how strong it is, especially against the variants that we are currently seeing in South Africa? We know that we're not only dealing with one variant, which is the beta variant, which originated in this country, but also the Delta variant, which we know has accelerated to an extent where we are finding ourselves in at the moment as a country.
So overall, the vaccine is as effective as many of the others that have been approved in terms of preventing severe disease, hospitalization, and death. In fact, it has high degrees of efficacy there on the data that is available. We are less certain, as I said, about its effectiveness, particularly against certain variants of concern, simply because there hasn't been enough experience with it as far as that is concerned. However, this vaccine is being used on millions and millions of people in China and around the world. And to the extent that it will prevent severe disease, we don't have too much of a concern with that. To the extent that it is effective against getting infected and having mild and moderate illness, we think the efficacy is low. At the moment, the data suggests it's around 50% or just under. But the main concern must be that the emergency phase of the pandemic, which is what we are in, must have vaccines that prevent death and severe illness and overloading of health systems. We are not looking for herd immunity with Sinovac or indeed with any of the others. We're not going to get herd immunity with those because all of them have reduced efficacy for mild and moderate illness, which means virus will continue to circulate. So until we get the next generation of vaccines, which may be able to get us to herd immunity, we should utilize all of the vaccines that have been approved internationally and by various jurisdictions, including ours. We are in an emergency. We need all of the vaccine we can get. So once this vaccine is procured by the government, presumably, and rolled out, it will provide protection as far as that is concerned, and people need not have any fear of that. There have been reports, for example, in certain countries like Seychelles, which used CoronaVac quite extensively, of resurgence, but this has all been mild and moderate illness with very little serious disease. So that just backs up what I've said earlier. And I think we should be happy that we have another vaccine, but we should be demanding of the government that and certainly of the vaccine MAC, that they look at far more effective vaccines that we know are there and are available, like the Novavax vaccine, Moderna vaccine, and not spurn the offers that Moderna made late last year. I think the vaccine MAC needs to explain why it's not pursuing those vaccines. I understand the government is looking at bringing back AstraZeneca because it's very effective against Delta. And the vaccines I mentioned, Novavax, Moderna, will have a similar effect. So the more vaccines we have and the greater variety we have, the better for us.
Dr. Dasoo, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. We really do appreciate that. That was Dr. Aslam Dasoo, Convener, Progressive Health Forum, there for us.